Hi everyone, I'm very, very excited for today's topic because today's topic is weddings. And weddings are tough, okay? Weddings are tough because I feel like weddings can be very drama filled very easily because there's this idea, this dream of your wedding being the best day of your life, and therefore everything has to go right, and there's so many people involved, and there's sometimes family paying for stuff, and so then it's how much say do they get, and bridesmaids and groomsmen, and there's just a lot of factors that can make weddings very messy. With all that being said, it's time to be nosy. Am I the asshole for asking my friend to not wear makeup to my wedding? Off the bat, without reading anything, I'm going to say you are the a-hole, because why are you controlling people's physical appearances like that? I mean, there is dress codes and that's understandable and stuff, but wearing makeup? I don't know. Let's read it. I, 24 female, recently asked my close friend Devin, 23 female, to be a bridesmaid for my wedding. We've been friends since high school and I was very excited to have her by my side. I put together baskets for my bridesmaids that included a printed list of the dress code for the wedding. This list included that I wanted them to wear a green dress in any style or shade, silver heels, and light natural makeup. I plan on having a makeup artist that day to do the girls' makeup. For context, Devin typically dresses in a very traditional goth style with the white base, heavy black liner, etc. I love her style and I think she looks absolutely beautiful in it. However, that's not the look I'm going for at my wedding. That's fair. She texted me a few hours after I gave her the basket saying, "So I'm not allowed to wear my makeup to the wedding?" I explained to her that if she wanted to be a bridesmaid, she would have to adhere to my dress code, but she was welcome to come as a guest and dress in her normal style. She responded basically saying, "If you don't want me to be myself, then I don't want to be there at all." I told her I wasn't trying to change who she is, I just want her to match the rest of the bridesmaids for one day. She got very upset and said I was trying to aesthetic-size? Huh. All my friends, and that I cared more about a photo than my friends' comfort. My friends and family are all very mixed on the situation, some saying I was being controlling and purposely excluding Devin, while others agree that it's my wedding and she's being very dramatic. Devin hasn't spoken to me since our text conversation, and I've heard from mutual friends that she's saying she's not welcome to my wedding, which is just not true. I feel like I was being very reasonable and even offered to compromise, but I also don't want to lose a friend over something this small. Am I the a-hole? This is really tricky because self-expression is so important. I mean, of all people, I love expressing myself and showing this is who I am with makeup, with clothes, whatever it may be. And so that is hard, but at the same time, I do understand, bride does want a certain look, and if there is a goth baddie, let's be clear, goth baddie in the photo, it is going to be very you're going to be drawn to her. And so I understand wanting to have minimal makeup for the bridesmaids and then have the bride kind of be the centerpiece. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. There's an edit. I just wanted to clarify that she can still go to the wedding in her normal aesthetic just as a guest, not a bridesmaid. People in the comments seem to think I wasn't allowing her to at all. Also clarifying that she does wear lighter makeup a couple times a month to different events. I referenced these looks as being okay, but she would prefer to do a trad goth look with the base and everything for the wedding due to these people she doesn't know there. And edit number 2, I wanted to clarify my relationship with Devin. We met in high school because of my fiance and her now husband are best friends. She is not my best friend. We've just spent a lot of time together doing double dates and stuff like that. Also, I was a bridesmaid in her wedding and adhered to her dress code, a specific deep red dress for bridesmaids and a much more dramatic style of makeup than I typically do done by a makeup artist. The fact that she has worn lighter makeup to events and does that a couple times a month, I feel like that even proves even more that she can do this. And she was given the option hey, if you're not comfortable doing that, then come as a guest. Happy to have you as a guest, and you can go all out. Let's get into some comments because it's just me, and honestly I need other people's opinions to get some more perspectives and just people. Someone said, As a gothy alt girl, you're absolutely not the a-hole. There's a time and place for the full white base dramatic makeup, and a bridesmaid in a wedding party is not it. I wouldn't even wear that kind of makeup as a guest. It would attract way too much attention from the bride and groom. It's the same reason why you don't wear white to a wedding or any clothes that are overly dramatic. It's not about me, it's about them. She's being extremely immature. It's not controlling to at all to dictate the makeup your wedding party has. It's extremely normal and common to have a makeup artist come and do the whole party's look. People saying you're the a-hole in the comments are being ridiculous. And your second edit makes it look even more ridiculous. She had a style you had to adhere to her wedding, but she won't do the same for you? Insufferable. I agree with that. When she went to Devin's wedding, she adhered to her dress code, which is makeup that she's not normally comfortable with. And so, yeah, I just feel like there's kind of like double standards in that. It's a tough situation, but at the end of the day, she has a dress code that she wants her bridesmaids to adhere to, and if they don't want to, they can be a guest, and I think that's totally fair. Okay. Next, am I the a-hole for confronting people for eating dessert at a wedding? Man, the only way that I feel like this is valid is if it's like you brought your own little like special cookie that you put in your purse and then somebody ate that cookie. That's not cool. Don't do that. That was my wedding cookie. But besides that, people can eat what they want, especially if there's already dessert out for people to eat at a wedding. So let's see what this is about. I'm making assumptions off of nothing. I recently went to my boyfriend's father's wedding. Okay. Boyfriend's father's wedding. So like kind of like her father-in-law in a way. I recently went to my boyfriend's father's wedding, remarriage. His father was kind enough to take into account my gluten allergy and made sure to have 8 out of 10 dishes gluten-free. He also included a separate gluten-free dessert, which was little bundt cakes. Oh my god, 8 out of 10 dishes be gluten-free. That's amazing. I was so excited to actually eat at the wedding. Most times for a public event, I either eat before due to my allergy. After dinner, the cake was being cut and then it was announced to come get dessert. I was finishing up a conversation, took 30 to 45 seconds when my boyfriend's uncle, who is the only other gluten-free person, came up to me with the cake and told me that all 10 cakes were gone and he had the last one, offering to share half. I was upset. I know that only 2 people had an allergy there. I immediately went over to investigate the gluten-free cakes with my boyfriend following. I spotted a family who I know well, and I know they are not gluten-free, and went up to confront them. When I got there, I saw them have not 1, not 2, but 3 gluten-free cakes, all of which were eaten except for a tiny sliver of one and the other that the husband was just finishing off. I politely asked the husband if he was gluten-free, knowing full well he wasn't. Girl, you're petty. He responded with, well, yeah, totally. I prefer gluten-free. It tastes better. Yeah. I look at him and told him I have an allergy and I didn't get any. After an awkward moment, the wife finally says, oh well, here, you can have this one if you want, and she reached to give me the mostly eaten cake. I told them, no, it's fine, just next time, don't eat allergen-friendly food if you don't have an allergy, and walked off to my boyfriend, who was only a few feet away, and told him everything. A bit later, I was talking to some friends when the wife came up behind me and said, hey, that wasn't very nice what you did back there. You made us feel very uncomfortable, and my husband feels bad and uncomfortable with your actions. It would be nice of you to go and apologize to him. I said, sorry? And she just said go over and apologize. I bit my tongue and went to talk to my boyfriend in private. I told him I was in fact not sorry and had no regret for calling them out for eating my allergy-friendly food. He agreed with me and told me not to apologize and ignore the incident, but I can't get this off my mind. So, am I the a-hole and should I go apologize for making this family feel uncomfortable? When I was a kid, I was gluten-free for years and it sucked, and I hated having to go places and not being able to eat anything, and it was really nice when there were gluten-free options. And so I do understand her frustration, especially when it's like those cakes were literally for me, but then I think that that kind of should have been put on who was in charge of the desserts. I don't know, I feel like if they're exclusively for you, OP, then they should have been given to you first or something, because if there's just a sign that says gluten-free, nobody's gonna think like, I don't know, it's out there for everyone to eat. So it's just like letting the people know who have gluten allergies that this is gluten-free. And so there's nothing wrong with like taking one. I feel like maybe if I was somewhere, I wouldn't take the allergy dessert first, and like maybe I would just like wait for it to come up, especially like for other people. I would wait for maybe other people to come up and take it, especially if I knew that there is a limited supply. But I also don't think that the family is in the wrong for having those cakes. But yeah, going up to go confront them, like, hey, I don't know, that I don't think that's cool. I do understand that is frustrating. You wanted that cake, you never get to have that. And so like I understand where she's coming from, but let's read some comments. Somebody said, if 8 out of 10 dishes were labeled gluten-free, was everyone without an allergy supposed to avoid those 8 dishes too? It sucks that you didn't get a dessert, but there were 10 gluten-free cakes and only 2 of you are gluten-free. Oh, I thought that said girlfriend. Were you supposed to eat all 10? You come across as a piece of work in this situation. I don't think you handled it well at all. You embarrassed a family who just wanted to eat some delicious cake. And there were more of them than there were gluten-free people. The labeling could have been better, but it doesn't excuse your rudeness. You were too slow and missed out. Move faster next time. You are the a-hole. Yeah, there were a lot. 8 out of 10 dishes gluten-free. That is, first of all, amazing that the father did that for her. But just because there is an allergy, like allergy-free cake, that doesn't mean that you can't eat it if you aren't gluten-free. I do agree that, yeah, maybe the cake situation could have been handled better where, you know, she did have some time. But, like, that is not on the family at all. Like, they aren't responsible for your hurt in this, you know, cake situation. Also, there were other people that got cakes. Like, what is up? Yeah, it's just kind of one of the situations where that sucks. That really sucks that you didn't get the cake that you wanted, but it's not anyone else's fault, except for maybe the people who were passing out the cake. There should have been, you know, if they were for you specifically and the other gluten-free person, they should have been like put to the side or something. But yeah, definitely don't go up to people shaming their food choices and whatnot. That's not cool. Next story. This one is interesting because I can see here that they have been titled the a-hole. The title is, am I the a-hole for dancing at a wedding even though I was a +1 to a friend? And so initially I'm like, no, dance away. I am pro dancing. Always make yourself look stupid. If you feel stupid dancing, that's totally fine. I'm not a good dancer, but I will dance the night away. And so I'm like, I am pro dancing, but we'll see. All right, let's get started. My friend and coworker was invited to his close friend's wedding and received a +1. Since he had just been broken up with his girlfriend, he didn't want to go alone and be seen alone in photos on social media, so he asked if I could go with him. I love weddings and didn't have plans for the weekend and always wanted to see this particular venue in person anyway, as I always pictured it for myself, so I said yes. I didn't know the bride and groom, but I am aware of the wedding etiquette such as don't wear white, don't upstage the bride, be polite, etc. Okay. The wedding comes and I show up with my coworker/date. I meet a lot of his buddies and we are all getting along fine. One thing about me is I love to dance and never turn down an opportunity. Me too, girl. Me too. I was on several dance teams in school, so I am semi-trained, so it's not uncoiffed or sloppy dancing. Not me, girl. Not me. During cocktail hour, the DJ is playing some great music, which I thought was more appropriate for the reception and didn't want to let the songs go to waste, so to speak, so I danced a little bit. Nothing crazy, but I loved the music. People were looking my way, but not in shock, almost a delight, like she is going to be fun on the dance floor tonight. So far, we're halfway through, and I don't see anything wrong. Finally, the reception starts, and they are doing 2 bridal party announcements where the DJ plays songs and the couple dances together on the dance floor. I love hyping people up and getting the party started, so as each couple was announced, I'd subtly hype them up and show them some fun moves to go along with the songs. Nothing crazy, I'd point them out and do something like shake my shoulders, encourage them to do the same. Eventually, my date asked me to cool it, so I did by the fourth couple and didn't do it again, as it seems they had routines they practiced anyway. I didn't think it was a big deal to help them out, but I stopped when asked. I spent most of the night on the dance floor afterwards, dancing with everyone and generally hyping up the crowd. I could tell a lot of the guests may not have felt confident, so I'd make sure to go to tables sitting down and try to get them on the dance floor because I know it's important for wedding guests to have fun. At one point, though, the mother of the bride or groom couldn't tell, looked at me and rudely quipped, "Can you please stop? We don't know you," when I was dancing next to her table, trying to get the grandparents up. Bro! Okay. I fully retreated and spent the rest of the night at my table and didn't even speak to my date because he basically started to ignore me. After the announcements and during dinner service, when I asked if he wanted to dance, he said no, he was eating and rudely. So, am I the a-hole for dancing at a wedding? I get that I wasn't a friend or family, but I was a guest and even brought a card to a couple I just met that day. My coworker hasn't texted me and I see him tomorrow. I also wanted to reach out to the bride via Facebook to see if photos were posted yet and thank her for the lovely time. Okay. The more appropriate title for this should have been not "Am I the a-hole for dancing at a wedding?" but "Am I the a-hole for trying to force everybody to dance and inserting myself in situations that I just simply didn't have to insert myself in?" Because I think that's the biggest thing, is it is totally okay to go absolutely ballistic on the dance floor, but if you're going up to tables to grandparents and being like, "Hey, let's get this party started," to the point where people are noticing and people are making comments, your date is noticing, like, I know that was not just like a once or twice thing. That must have happened so much, and not everybody wants to dance, and that's okay. Just like how some people want to dance crazy, other people do not want to dance, and that is totally okay. Also, the fact that they were doing the bridal party announcements and like she was trying to hype them up even though they already had their like choreography planned. Oh my god. The secondhand embarrassment. That's kind of like heckling, honestly. Like, not all heckling is negative, but like that's, oh man, yeah. I feel like this person, OP, had very good intentions and just wanted people to party and have a good time, but that's not your responsibility, and you can't like force people to have a good time or else you are the a-hole in that situation. Someone said, for dancing, no. For drawing attention to yourself by hyping people up during their introduction or wandering around harassing people at tables because you think they can't have fun unless they're doing what you think is fun, yes, you're the a-hole. Yeah. Not everyone's gonna have the same amount of fun as you on the dance floor. Like, some people really don't like that. Someone said, you're the a-hole. Whoa. You're the a-hole. Multiple people, including your date and the bride, asked you to stop, yet you didn't. You didn't read the room during cocktail hour when no one else was dancing. You interrupted and interfered with the actual reception. You bothered multiple tables during reception and harassed the grandparents. For someone claiming to know wedding etiquette, you certainly don't. It's not your wedding, but you did everything you could to be the center of attention. Yeah, that's true. They were like, I know wedding etiquette. Do you? Do you know wedding etiquette? Because it doesn't really sound like you do. Man, I can just feel the secondhand embarrassment. I think that this person, obviously the only thing I'm seeing about this person is this post. They seem like they do just genuinely want to have a good time, but in this situation, they are the a-hole and they do have to understand wedding etiquette, you could say. They just need to, I don't know if they're having troubles with like social cues, like maybe that could be something, because it seems like it was just not getting through to her. Yeah, that's crazy. That was fun. I love any wedding stories. That was great. Let me know if there's a theme or a certain topic that you want me to cover in my next video, and I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, and please Please subscribe if you liked this. I'm going to be posting more. I'm going to be posting more of these Reddit videos. I'm going to be posting more just kind of like random miscellaneous stuff. So let me know anything you want to see from me. And yeah.